The colony on Orin 5 had always been a place of hard work and quiet routine. Humans lived in small clusters of metal buildings, surrounded by rocky plains and strange blue-green plants that shimmered in the weak sunlight. Life was not easy, but the settlers had learned to adapt. They worked together, repaired machines, and kept their colony safe from sudden storms or wandering wildlife. One morning, a transport ship arrived from the outer space route. The engines hummed as it landed, kicking up dust and small stones across the landing field. The settlers gathered at a distance, watching curiously. Out of the ship came a figure that immediately drew attention. She was taller than most humans, her movements smooth and precise, and her presence seemed to fill the space around her. Her name was Myra. She had skin that glowed faintly under Orin 5's sunlight, soft and even-toned, and eyes larger than a human's, reflecting colors of the distant planet's sky. Her hair was long and dark, falling past her shoulders like a river of shadows. She wore a simple uniform, functional yet elegant, with a small badge that indicated she was an official from the Interstellar Council. The colonists were not welcoming. Whispers filled the air. "Who is she?" someone asked. "She looks strange," another muttered. Some crossed their arms and shook their heads. The alien's quiet and composed expression did not help. She did not wave or speak immediately, but instead stood and surveyed the colony with calm, intelligent eyes. Among the crowd, Liam watched from a distance. He was young and curious, an engineer who had always been interested in machines and people. He noticed something others missed: Myra's careful observation of the colony, the small way she studied each building, each machine, each person. There was a patience in her, a careful attention that told him she was more than just an outsider. The colony leader finally stepped forward. "Welcome to Orin 5, he said cautiously. "I am Commander Harlan. You are expected to report to the main control center for orientation." Myra inclined her head politely. "Thank you, Commander Harlan. I am Myra. I am here to assist in integrating new technologies and improving colony systems." Her voice was soft but clear, carrying a musical quality that made Liam smile quietly. Even as Myra followed Harlan, the whispers continued. Some colonists were openly hostile, muttering about aliens taking jobs or changing their way of life. Others simply avoided her, keeping a safe distance. Myra did not react. She moved with calm dignity, as if she were used to such treatment. Liam felt a mix of emotions. He did not feel fear or suspicion like the others. Instead, he felt curiosity and something else he could not name yet. He wanted to know her story, where she came from, why she had come to their colony. By the end of the day, Myra had been assigned quarters near the control center and a small workspace with tools and computers. Liam was introduced to her as someone who could assist with technical questions. He found himself staring at her quietly, noticing small details: the way she held a wrench, the careful way she connected wires, the calm determination in her eyes. Over the next few days, Myra worked quietly and efficiently. She repaired machinery faster than any human in the colony and suggested improvements that no one had thought of. Yet, despite her skills, the colonists remained wary. They whispered about her in the mess hall, avoided her in hallways, and sometimes made sarcastic remarks when she walked by. One evening, Liam found Myra sitting alone on a platform overlooking the rocky plains. The wind blew lightly, ruffling her hair, and she stared at the horizon, as if searching for something far away. Liam approached carefully. "It's quiet here," he said softly. Myra turned to him and smiled faintly. "Yes. It helps me think." Liam nodded. "I know what you mean. The colony can be loud sometimes, even when it seems calm." He paused, then added, "I don't think anyone else has noticed the way you work. You're really good at it." Myra's eyes widened slightly, and her lips curved into a small, genuine smile. It was the first time Liam had seen her express any emotion beyond polite composure. "Thank you," she said. "I am still learning about your systems, but I hope my knowledge can be useful." They talked for a while longer. Liam asked about her home world, the types of machines she was used to, and the methods she preferred. Myra answered with care, always polite, yet occasionally her curiosity about humans shone through in her questions. She asked about their lives, their dreams, and how they adapted to Orin 5's harsh environment. As night fell, Liam left her on the platform, looking out at the stars. He felt a quiet admiration for her bravery and intelligence. While the other colonists saw an alien they could not understand, Liam saw someone who was kind, capable, and different in a way that fascinated him. He realized that Myra was not just another visitor. She was someone who could teach humans new ways to survive and thrive on Orin 5. And perhaps, he thought, she could also teach them to be better humans in the process. That night, as the colony slept under a sky full of unfamiliar stars, Myra sat quietly in her quarters. She looked at a small photograph she had carried from her home world, a reminder of the life she had left behind. She wondered how long it would take for the humans to accept her, and if she could find friends among them. Liam, lying in his small bunk, thought of her as well. He felt a small spark of hope and determination. He would make sure that Myra was treated fairly. He would show others that she was not just an alien outsider. She was Myra, and she had a place in the colony. The next morning, the colony buzzed with activity. Machines hummed, engines roared, and settlers moved quickly between buildings. Myra was already at her workstation, examining schematics for the colony's energy network. Her fingers moved gracefully over the controls, adjusting parameters with precision. Liam approached her cautiously, carrying a small toolbox. "Good morning, Myra," he said with a smile. "I thought you might need some help with the conduit repairs today." Myra looked up, her large eyes focusing on him. "Thank you, Liam. I would appreciate your assistance. Some of the older conduits may not be compatible with the new system. Your guidance will be useful." As they walked to the maintenance area, the other colonists watched with curiosity. Some whispered, "Why does he spend so much time with her?" Others rolled their eyes and turned away. Liam ignored them. He was not concerned with gossip. He wanted to help, and more importantly, he wanted Myra to feel welcome. Once at the repair site, Liam handed Myra a spanner. She accepted it carefully, her hands steady and confident. Together, they examined the conduit, which carried energy from the main reactor to the colony's central systems. Sparks flickered as they worked, and the smell of heated metal filled the air. "You seem very skilled," Liam said, watching her adjust a panel with exact movements. "Have you worked with human technology before?" Myra shook her head gently. "Not exactly. I have experience with similar systems on my home planet. I am learning to adapt my knowledge to your technology. The principles are similar, but the components differ." Liam nodded, impressed. "You're learning fast. I think you'll be able to improve these systems in no time." As they continued, a sudden surge of energy sparked from the conduit. Myra jumped back instinctively, but Liam reacted quickly. He reached out and steadied her, protecting her from the small shock. "Are you all right?" he asked, concern in his voice. Myra's cheeks tinged slightly, though she did not speak for a moment. Then she nodded. "Yes. Thank you, Liam. That was unexpected." The other colonists had stopped to watch. Whispers spread quickly, but instead of mocking, there was a hint of surprise. Myra had not panicked. She had handled the situation calmly, and Liam had acted quickly to protect her. Once the immediate danger passed, they returned to the work. Liam showed Myra how to safely adjust the connections to prevent future sparks. Myra listened carefully, absorbing every detail. You are very patient, she said quietly. Most humans would be frustrated with mistakes, but you explain clearly and calmly. Liam smiled. I like to think problems are easier to solve when you stay calm. And you are doing well. Mistakes are normal. As they worked, Liam noticed small signs that Myra was beginning to relax. Her movements were smoother, and she occasionally glanced at him, as if seeking reassurance. He realized that trust could grow even in a short time. By midday, the conduit was fully repaired. The energy flowed steadily, and the colony systems were stable. Liam stepped back and wiped his hands. We did it, he said proudly. Myra nodded, her face showing satisfaction for the first time. Yes. I am grateful for your help. Without your guidance, this task would have taken much longer. For a brief moment, Liam and Myra shared a silent understanding. Neither needed to speak further. The work had built a small connection between them. Later, as they returned to the main building, a group of colonists approached, some with curiosity, others with suspicion. One man spoke loudly, "Why does Liam spend so much time helping the alien? We have plenty of humans who need help too." Liam stood tall, meeting the man's gaze. She is part of this colony, just like the rest of us. She has skills that can help everyone. I am helping because it benefits all of us. The colonists murmured among themselves, some reluctantly nodding. Liam felt a quiet satisfaction. Standing up for Myra was easy for him. He saw her not as an outsider, but as a valuable person. That evening, Liam returned to his quarters, but he could not stop thinking about Myra. He remembered how she had reacted during the spark incident, how her eyes had widened, and how she had nodded with a slight smile afterward. He wondered if she ever felt nervous around humans or if she was always composed. Meanwhile, Myra sat in her quarters, examining the repaired conduit schematics. She reflected on the day, noticing Liam's patience and kindness. It was unfamiliar to her. Most humans had ignored her or kept their distance. Liam had treated her as an equal, and she felt a sense of safety she had not expected. Over the next few days, Liam continued to assist Myra with various tasks. He introduced her to new tools, explained human methods for maintenance, and even shared small stories about the colony's history. Myra listened intently, asking questions and sometimes giving suggestions that improved the work. Other colonists gradually began to take notice. Some still whispered, but a few had started to respect her skills. Myra's quiet determination and intelligence were hard to ignore. Liam, however, remained her main source of comfort and friendship. She began to trust him in ways she had not trusted anyone since arriving. One afternoon, while adjusting a solar array, Myra lost her balance on the narrow platform. Liam reacted instantly, catching her by the arm. She looked up at him, startled, and for a moment, her cheeks flushed slightly. "You are very attentive," she said softly, her voice carrying a hint of amusement. Liam grinned. "I just make sure people don't fall off platforms. You are important, and I don't want anything to happen to you." Myra's eyes lingered on him for a moment. She had never expected someone to care so personally for her well-being. The simple act of attention felt warm and reassuring. As the sun set, painting the sky with shades of orange and purple, Myra and Liam stood together on the platform, watching the colony below. The wind blew lightly, carrying the faint scent of the alien plants. "You have made my first days here easier," Myra said quietly. "I am grateful for your presence, Liam." Liam smiled, feeling a quiet happiness. "I am glad you are here, Myra. I think this colony will be better because of you, and maybe we can help each other too." For the first time, Myra felt a small sense of belonging. She was different, and many humans still feared or misunderstood her, but Liam had seen her as a person, not just an alien. That simple recognition had begun to break the walls of isolation she had built around herself. As night fell, both of them returned to their quarters. Liam felt a growing curiosity about Myra, and Myra felt a growing trust in Liam. The first contact had been cautious, but it had laid the foundation for something stronger, a connection based on respect, trust, and understanding. The colony remained wary, and the whispers continued, but for Liam and Myra, the day had brought a small victory. They had learned to work together, to protect one another, and to begin forming a bond that would shape their days on Oran 5. The days on Oran 5 began to feel different for Liam. Each morning, he found himself looking forward to seeing Myra. She was quiet and composed, but there was a curiosity in her eyes that mirrored his own. Her movements were precise, almost like a dance, yet there was a warmth beneath the discipline. He noticed the small gestures she made, tilting her head to examine a machine, pausing to observe the wind shifting the alien plants, or humming softly when she concentrated. One morning, Liam found Myra working alone near the water recycling facility. The pipes were old and corroded, leaking small streams of liquid that could harm the delicate systems if left unchecked. Myra crouched near the ground, studying the valves carefully. Liam approached, carrying a small toolkit. "Good morning," he said. "Do you need help with the repairs today?" Myra looked up, her eyes meeting his. There was a faint smile on her lips. "Good morning, Liam. I believe I can manage, but your assistance would be appreciated. Some of the older valves are not as I expected." Together, they worked in silence at first. Liam passed tools, adjusted connections, and explained small details about the human-designed pipes. Myra listened attentively, following his instructions precisely. When she encountered a problem he had not anticipated, she paused and thought carefully before suggesting an adjustment. Liam was impressed. "You have a very logical approach," he said. "Most humans would try to fix it quickly and hope for the best, but you analyze first. It works well." Myra's eyes softened slightly. "I have learned that patience produces better results. Hasty actions often lead to mistakes." As the morning passed, Liam noticed Myra glancing at him occasionally. Each time, she quickly returned to her work when she realized he had seen her. There was a subtle connection growing, an understanding that words did not fully explain. Liam began to realize that Myra was not just intelligent, she was thoughtful, aware of her surroundings, and capable of empathy even in a place that did not fully accept her. Later, they moved to the main reactor area, where Myra examined energy readings. Liam watched her adjust controls with precision, her fingers moving gracefully over the panels. He felt a strange warmth in his chest, a mixture of admiration and curiosity. "You notice small details others miss," he said quietly. "Even the older technicians don't see these patterns." Myra turned to him briefly. "Your observations are also precise. I notice that you watch people carefully. Most humans are too busy to see small changes in others." "You notice?" Liam smiled, a little embarrassed. "I guess I do. I like to understand people. It helps when you work with them." Myra considered his words. It is unusual for a human to speak so honestly. Most focus only on tasks or problems. They continued working, and Liam realized that Myra was slowly learning human ways, while he was learning her ways as well. The subtle connection between them grew through shared effort, quiet observation, and small acts of attention. One afternoon, a minor incident occurred that deepened their bond. While adjusting a conduit in the reactor, a loose panel shifted unexpectedly. Myra's foot slipped, and she nearly fell. Liam reacted immediately, catching her by the arm and steadying her. "You must be more careful on these surfaces," he said, concern evident in his voice. "It can be dangerous." Myra looked at him, eyes wide for a moment. Her cheeks tinted slightly, an unusual display of emotion for her. "Thank you, Liam." That could have been a serious accident. He smiled reassuringly. I'm glad you're safe. We have to look out for each other. For a moment, the noise of the reactor, the hum of the machinery, and the distant chatter of the colony faded. They stood close, sharing a quiet understanding. Liam realized that Myra was beginning to trust him, and that trust was a fragile but growing bridge between human and alien. Over the next few days, their subtle connection deepened. Liam noticed that Myra would seek him out when she had questions, and she began sharing small personal observations. She would comment on the colors of the sky, the patterns of the alien plants, or the sounds of the wind across the colony. Liam listened carefully, learning about her perceptions and appreciating her unique perspective. One evening, they worked late in the control center. The colony's energy systems required calibration after a minor storm, and Myra had suggested a method that combined human and alien techniques. Liam watched her carefully as she adjusted the controls. You have a unique approach, he said. It works better than any method I've seen here. Myra's large eyes met his. Your guidance allows me to apply my knowledge more effectively. Without your help, I may have struggled. Liam felt a warmth spread across his chest. He realized that their connection was no longer only about work. It was about understanding, respect, and mutual support. Myra's trust in him made him feel responsible for her, and her presence made the colony seem less cold and distant. That night, Liam returned to his quarters, thinking about Myra's careful movements, her soft voice, and the slight blush on her cheeks when he had steadied her earlier. He wondered if she ever felt lonely in a place where so few humans accepted her. He decided silently that he would continue to be her friend and support her in any way he could. Meanwhile, Myra sat in her quarters, reflecting on the day. She noticed the small differences in human behavior that Liam understood, the way he remained calm under pressure, the way he observed carefully before acting, and the quiet patience he showed. She realized that he was unusual among humans, someone who could see her as a person rather than an outsider. A small smile formed on Myra's lips. She felt a sense of safety she had not expected to feel on this human colony. The subtle connection with Liam was growing, forming a bridge between two worlds that often misunderstood each other. The colony continued around them, still wary and suspicious. Some settlers whispered, some avoided her, and some observed with cautious respect. But for Liam and Myra, the day had brought a quiet victory. They had learned to trust each other, to work together, and to share small moments of understanding. As Myra looked out the window at the stars above Orion 5, she thought about the days to come. There would be challenges, storms, and difficult decisions. Yet, with Liam by her side, she felt a small hope. Perhaps humans and aliens could find a way to understand each other, to work together, and to form bonds that went beyond fear and prejudice. And so, their subtle connection grew, quiet but steady. Through shared work, mutual respect, and small gestures of kindness, Liam and Myra began to build a friendship that promised to shape the days and challenges ahead. The colony might not fully accept her yet, but for the first time, Myra felt that she had a place in this new world, and Liam felt that he had found someone extraordinary to stand beside. The morning began quietly, with the soft glow of Orion 5's sun spilling over the rocky plains. The colony appeared peaceful, but Liam could sense the tension in the air. Reports of unusual storms in nearby regions had been coming in for several days. Most colonists dismissed the warnings, believing their defenses were sufficient. Myra, however, examined the weather readings with quiet concern. They are approaching faster than predicted, she said, studying the displays in the control center. If the storm reaches this region, it could damage critical systems. Liam frowned. How severe do you think it will be? Myra adjusted the readings and pointed at the projected path. High winds, electrical surges, and debris. Some buildings may be damaged, and energy conduits could fail if we are unprepared. The colony leader, Commander Harlan, entered the control center. "We've handled storms before," he said confidently. "We'll manage this one too." Myra looked at him calmly. "With all respect, Commander, this storm is different. It is moving faster and contains electrical activity that could overload the main reactor. Precautionary measures are essential." Some of the colonists exchanged uneasy glances. Liam nodded at Myra. He trusted her assessment. "We should start securing equipment and reinforcing the buildings," he said. As the storm approached, the winds grew stronger. Dust and small debris began swirling around the colony. Myra quickly coordinated teams, moving from one building to another, giving precise instructions. Liam followed her, assisting wherever he could. They tied down machinery, reinforced weak structures, and ensured energy conduits were stable. A sudden loud crack echoed as lightning struck one of the energy towers. Sparks flew, and a surge of power caused several panels to overload. Myra moved immediately, her eyes scanning the system readings. "Liam, I need you to stabilize the auxiliary conduits," she called out. "Follow my instructions exactly." Working together, they adjusted valves, rerouted energy, and monitored the systems. The storm raged around them, but Myra remained calm, issuing clear directions. Her intelligence and courage guided everyone, and even the most skeptical colonists began to follow her lead. At one point, a weak platform collapsed under the storm's force. A young technician nearly fell, but Liam grabbed her just in time. Myra ran over, helping steady the platform. "Everyone must remain safe," she said firmly. "We cannot let fear control our actions. Focus on the tasks, and we will survive this storm together." Liam glanced at Myra, noticing the calm determination in her eyes. She had faced dangerous situations before, he realized. Her bravery was not loud or boastful, but steady and quiet. It inspired others to keep working, even as the winds howled and debris struck buildings. Hours passed, and the storm continued to batter the colony. Myra moved swiftly from task to task, checking energy readings, coordinating repairs, and ensuring communication channels remained open. Liam stayed close, assisting and learning from her methods. Despite the chaos, the colony began to stabilize. The energy systems that could have failed remained operational, thanks to Myra's quick thinking and knowledge. Buildings that might have collapsed held firm because of the reinforcements she directed. Liam noticed other colonists looking at her with a mix of awe and respect. By late afternoon, the storm began to weaken. The winds lessened, and the dust settled. Myra and Liam walked through the colony, checking each area for remaining damage. Liam felt a quiet admiration for her skills. She had handled a situation that could have been catastrophic with calm and precision. "You were incredible," he said as they paused near the central reactor. "I don't think anyone else could have managed it so well." Myra's lips curved into a small, tired smile. "We managed together. Your assistance was valuable. Without your help, some areas may have suffered more damage." Liam shook his head. "I was just following your lead. You were the one who knew exactly what to do." The other colonists gathered around, some still cautious, some openly impressed. A few nodded respectfully. Myra's calm efficiency had earned her a measure of trust that no words could have achieved. As the sun set, painting the sky with shades of red and orange, the colony settled into quiet relief. Repairs would continue in the following days, but the immediate danger had passed. Liam and Myra walked together to the observation deck, overlooking the plains beyond the colony. "You handled everything perfectly," Liam said, gazing at her. "I've never seen anyone remain so calm in a storm like that." Myra turned to him. "Calmness is necessary in dangerous situations. Panic does not solve problems. Observing, analyzing, and acting carefully ensures safety." Liam smiled. "You make it sound easy, but I know it wasn't. You saved lives today." Myra's eyes met his, and for a moment, there was a quiet understanding between them. "We saved lives together," she said softly. "Everyone contributed. I only guided them." Liam noticed a slight flush on her cheeks, a subtle sign of emotion. It was rare for Myra to display such a reaction, and it made him feel a connection stronger than before. He realized that trust and respect were growing between them, quietly and naturally. Later that evening, as the colony recovered, Liam returned to his quarters, exhausted but satisfied. Myra had proven herself not only intelligent but brave, and he felt proud to know her. He thought about the day's events and the subtle ways she had inspired confidence in others. Her presence had changed the colony, and he knew that her influence would continue to grow. Myra, sitting in her quarters, reflected on the storm. She had faced many dangerous situations in her life, but this one had been different. She had seen humans struggle with fear, hesitation, and doubt. By guiding them, she had helped them survive. Yet she also felt something new, an appreciation for Liam's steady presence. His calm support had allowed her to focus, and his trust had strengthened her own confidence. As night fell over Oran 5, the colony rested under a quiet sky. The storm had passed, but its memory lingered. Myra had proven herself capable, and the colonists had seen her strength. Liam felt a quiet hope for the future, realizing that their bond was growing stronger through shared experiences. For Myra, the day had brought more than the storm. It had brought understanding, trust, and a subtle connection with a human who saw her not as an outsider, but as a valuable and capable individual. For Liam, the day had confirmed what he had felt since the first moment he met her. Myra was someone extraordinary, and the colony was better with her presence. The crisis had passed, but the lessons remained. Courage, intelligence, and calm leadership could change the outcome of any challenge. And through it all, Liam and Myra's quiet connection had deepened, setting the stage for greater understanding, friendship, and perhaps something more in the days to come. The colony was quiet the morning after the storm. The air smelled fresh, washed clean by the recent rains and winds. Settlers moved about, repairing minor damages and checking systems that had been stressed during the storm. Liam arrived at the control center early, carrying his toolkit, and was relieved to see Myra already at her workstation. "Good morning," Liam said with a smile. "You look calm after yesterday's chaos." Myra turned toward him, her eyes reflecting a faint light of the rising Sunday. "Good morning, Liam. The storm tested our systems, but most damage was manageable. We have begun the necessary repairs." Her voice was calm, but there was a hint of tiredness in her tone. Liam set down his tools and watched her for a moment. He admired the way she worked, so precise and careful, yet quietly efficient. Even after the dangerous storm, she carried herself with dignity and focus. He felt a growing desire to let her know that her efforts mattered, not only to the colony but also to him personally. Over the next few hours, they worked side by side. Myra adjusted power flows and checked energy levels, while Liam assisted, offering tools and suggestions when needed. Their movements were synchronized, almost like a quiet dance, each trusting the other to anticipate the next step. At one point, Liam noticed Myra pause and glance at a small panel she had been repairing. She furrowed her brow slightly, a rare display of concentration, and adjusted her grip on the tools. Something about her focus caught Liam's attention. He felt a sudden warmth, an urge to say something that would make her smile, to break the quiet tension with a personal word. "Myra," he said gently, stepping closer. "You're so cute when you concentrate like that." Myra froze. Her hands stopped moving, and she turned fully toward him. Her cheeks flushed a faint pink, a rare and delicate expression for her. Liam realized immediately that he had surprised her, but the reaction was not discomfort, it was curiosity mixed with an unfamiliar sense of shyness. What did you say?" she asked softly, her voice slightly higher than usual. Liam chuckled quietly, feeling a mix of nervousness and amusement. I said, "You're cute when you concentrate. You focus so much, and well, I like it." Myra blinked slowly, processing the words. The blush on her cheeks deepened slightly, and she looked away for a moment. Then, as if finding the right response, she spoke. Thank you, Liam. That is an unusual comment, but it is pleasant." Liam smiled, relieved. He had hoped to bring a small moment of lightness to her day, and it had worked. "I mean it," he said. "You work so hard, and you help everyone. It's nice to see someone focus with such care." For a while, they continued working in silence, but the atmosphere had shifted. Myra's usual calm composure softened. She occasionally glanced at Liam with a faint smile, a subtle acknowledgement of his words. It was a small but meaningful connection, one that went beyond words or tasks. Later, as they finished checking the energy systems, Liam noticed Myra stretching slightly, clearly tired from the storm and continuous work. He handed her a small cup of water. "Here, take a break for a moment," he said. Myra accepted it, her eyes meeting his. "Thank you. I appreciate the gesture," she said, her voice warmer than before. The simple act of kindness, combined with his earlier compliment, made her feel unexpectedly comfortable in the human environment. As they stepped outside for a brief moment of fresh air, the sky above Oran 5 glowed with soft sunlight. The rocky plains shimmered faintly, and distant clouds moved slowly across the horizon. Liam looked at Myra, noticing how the sunlight highlighted her features, making her appear almost ethereal against the alien landscape. "You really handled the storm well yesterday," Liam said, speaking quietly. "I don't think the colony could have managed without you." Myra's eyes met his, and a small, genuine smile formed on her lips. "I only guided them. Others performed the actions. Your support was also important, Liam." He shook his head. "I just followed your lead. You inspired everyone. And I wanted you to know that I noticed. I notice things about you that others do not." Myra's cheeks tinged pink again, but this time her eyes held a gentle warmth. "I am grateful that you notice. Most humans do not see beyond appearances or titles. You observe and understand. It is comforting." Liam felt a quiet joy at her words. He realized that their bond was growing not through grand gestures, but through small moments, shared work, quiet support, and now, a simple compliment that made Myra blush. It was a step toward trust and understanding, bridging the gap between human and alien. The rest of the day passed with a sense of calm. The colony continued repairs, and Myra and Liam worked together efficiently. Occasionally, she would pause and glance at him, a faint smile lingering on her lips. He responded with small gestures, a nod, a smile, or passing a tool which she accepted with subtle appreciation. As evening approached, the sky turned shades of orange and purple, reflecting the alien landscape in soft light. Liam and Myra walked together toward the observation deck. The winds were gentle now, carrying the scent of the strange plants that dotted the plains. "You have made my first days here easier," Myra said quietly. "Your guidance and patience have helped me adjust." Liam smiled. "And you have shown me things too, Myra. Your perspective, your skills, you make the colony stronger. I am glad you are here." Myra looked at him, her eyes reflecting the sunset. "I am glad as well. I feel more at ease than I expected. Your words today, they were unusual, but they were kind." Liam felt a quiet happiness. He realized that his small compliment had more impact than he imagined. It had made Myra feel seen, appreciated, and understood. It had deepened the connection between them, quietly but meaningfully. As night fell over Oran 5, both returned to their quarters. Myra reflected on the day, noting the subtle shifts in her own emotions. Liam's attention and kindness were different from the cautious interactions she had expected from humans. For the first time, she felt that a human truly saw her for who she was, not just as an alien or a stranger. Liam, lying in his bunk, thought of Myra's soft smile and the way her cheeks had flushed at his words. He realized that trust and connection were forming slowly but steadily. It was not only about work or survival anymore, it was about understanding, noticing, and caring for each other in small, meaningful ways. The day had brought more than the storm's aftermath. It had brought the first personal bond, a subtle connection built on respect, admiration, and a simple compliment. Liam knew that their relationship would grow stronger with time, and Myra felt a quiet hope that humans and aliens could learn to trust and value one another. The following days on Orin 5 brought a noticeable change in the colony. The storm had passed, and life returned to its usual rhythm. Settlers repaired damaged equipment, cleared debris, and adjusted systems to prevent future problems. Amid this routine, Myra continued her work with calm determination, and Liam remained by her side, assisting and observing. The difference now was subtle but important. Some colonists who had whispered and avoided Myra were beginning to look at her differently. Her calm efficiency during the storm had earned respect that quiet words or polite gestures alone could not achieve. They saw her intelligence, courage, and patience, and slowly, the walls of prejudice began to lower. One morning, while inspecting the solar panels on the colony's outer ridge, Liam and Myra encountered a small group of settlers. A young woman, her curiosity overcoming her caution, spoke first. "Myra, we noticed how you managed the reactor during the storm. It was impressive. Can you show us some of your methods?" Myra paused, her expression neutral for a moment, then nodded gracefully. "Of course. I will explain the steps and demonstrate the adjustments. Everyone's understanding is important to maintain stability." Liam watched as the settlers gathered around, listening intently. Myra guided them through the process, patiently answering questions and demonstrating techniques. Even those who had been skeptical were now paying close attention, recognizing her skill and precision. Liam felt a sense of pride as he observed this transformation. The alien woman that many had ignored or feared was becoming an essential part of the colony. During a short break, Liam walked with Myra to a quieter area of the ridge. The wind carried the scent of the alien plants, and the sky glowed softly under Orin 5's sunlight. "You handled that well," Liam said, smiling. "They are starting to see what I have known from the beginning." Myra's eyes met his, and a faint smile appeared on her lips. "Their understanding is slow, but it progresses. I appreciate your continued support, Liam. You make the process easier." He chuckled quietly. "I just make sure people notice what's right in front of them. You don't need me to show them how capable you are, but I like to be here for you." Myra's cheeks tinted slightly, a soft warmth showing in her expression. "Your presence, it is comforting. I have not experienced this in a long time." They continued working together, checking solar arrays and adjusting energy flows. As they moved from panel to panel, Liam noticed how naturally the settlers were beginning to interact with Myra. Some asked her questions without hesitation, others sought her advice on minor technical problems. It was a small shift, but for Myra, it meant the difference between isolation and acceptance. Later in the day, a minor incident occurred that tested both Myra and the colonists' trust in her. A small fire had broken out in one of the storage buildings due to electrical sparks from damaged wiring. Myra reacted instantly, directing a team to contain the flames while Liam assisted with safety measures. "Focus on the fire control system first," Myra instructed firmly. "Do not risk personal safety. Use the extinguishers and seal the doors. I will stabilize the energy conduits." Liam followed her directions, impressed by her ability to lead calmly under pressure. The settlers worked efficiently, guided by her clear instructions. Within minutes, the fire was contained, and the building remained mostly intact. When the situation was resolved, one of the previously skeptical colonists approached Myra. I underestimated you," he admitted quietly. "You were calm, and your instructions made all the difference." "Thank you." Myra nodded politely. "Your acknowledgement is appreciated. Our goal is the safety of the colony, and that is achieved through cooperation." Liam watched the interaction, feeling a sense of satisfaction. Myra had not only proven her capability but also inspired the colonists to trust and follow her guidance. It was a turning point, a visible change in perception that no one could ignore. As evening approached, Liam and Myra returned to the observation deck. The sky was painted with deep shades of orange and purple, and the alien plains stretched endlessly beneath them. The wind was gentle, carrying the scent of the planet's unique flora. "You have changed how the colony sees you," Liam said quietly. "People who were once doubtful now respect you. You've made a real difference here." Myra looked out at the horizon, her expression thoughtful. "I am aware of the change. It is encouraging. Yet, I did not accomplish this alone. Your support and guidance have helped. I would not have managed as effectively without you." Liam shook his head. "You would have managed. I just helped a little. The credit is yours entirely." Myra's cheeks tinted again, a soft warmth showing in her calm demeanor. "Your words are kind, Liam. It is unusual for humans to express such honesty and respect. I value it greatly." They stood in silence for a few moments, watching the sun dip below the horizon. Liam realized that their bond was deepening in ways beyond work or trust. It was becoming a true friendship. Myra's respect for him and her acknowledgement of his support created a connection neither of them had fully anticipated. Over the next days, Myra's influence on the colony continued to grow. Settlers began seeking her advice more frequently, and even the most skeptical individuals gradually acknowledged her skill and dedication. She remained humble and composed, never boasting, but her quiet confidence inspired others to follow her example. Liam continued to support her, assisting with tasks and sharing small moments of conversation. They spoke about the stars, the alien plants, and the challenges of daily life on Orin 5. Each conversation strengthened their understanding of one another, and Myra began to show small signs of comfort and warmth in her interactions. One afternoon, while they repaired an energy conduit together, Liam glanced at Myra and said softly, "You know, people are starting to see what I always saw. You're not just capable, you're remarkable. They just needed a moment to realize it." Myra paused, her hands resting on the conduit. She looked at him, her cheeks tinged slightly, and replied, "I appreciate your confidence. It is rare to have someone believe in me without hesitation. Your presence continues to reassure me." Liam smiled, feeling a quiet happiness. He realized that their bond was no longer limited to professional respect. It had grown into something deeper, built on trust, admiration, and genuine care. As the sun set and the colony settled into evening routines, Myra reflected on the changes around her. She had come to Orin 5 as an outsider, viewed with suspicion and doubt. Now, she was becoming an integral part of the colony, not only through her skills but also through the subtle influence of her character and courage. Liam, lying in his quarters that night, thought about Myra's quiet strength and the way she had earned the colony's respect. He realized that the connection between them was stronger than ever, founded on shared experiences, mutual understanding, and the small moments that built trust and friendship. The colony had changed, and so had the relationship between Liam and Myra. Acceptance was no longer distant, it was beginning to take root, slowly but surely. Myra's presence had transformed the colony, and Liam's support had strengthened their bond. Together, they had not only survived challenges but also built a foundation for greater trust, friendship, and understanding in the days to come. The days after the storm were filled with steady progress. The colony repaired damaged buildings, reinforced energy conduits, and improved systems to prevent future issues. Myra continued to work diligently, guiding teams and ensuring that every repair was done correctly. Liam remained by her side, assisting and observing, sharing quiet moments of conversation whenever he could. What had changed most was the atmosphere among the colonists. Respect for Myra had grown steadily, and even those who had once doubted her now sought her guidance. They observed her calm, precise actions and recognized her intelligence, courage, and dedication. The alien woman who had once been ignored was now seen as an essential part of the colony. One morning, as Myra checked the outer solar arrays, a group of colonists approached her. "Myra," one of them said, a young man named Terran, "we wanted to thank you. Your instructions during the storm saved many lives. Your guidance helped us understand how to maintain the systems better. We trust your expertise now." Myra's expression remained calm, but a soft smile appeared on her lips. "I am grateful for your acknowledgement. Trust and cooperation are essential for the safety and progress of the colony. We achieve this together." Liam, standing beside her, nodded in agreement. "She speaks the truth. We all benefit when we work together and support one another." The group of colonists left, and Myra turned to Liam. "The change is noticeable. They no longer avoid me or question my abilities. Respect is beginning to replace fear." Liam smiled warmly. "It's well deserved. You've shown them who you really are: intelligent, capable, and brave. And I'm glad I could be here to help them see it." Myra's cheeks tinted faintly, a subtle warmth showing in her usually composed demeanor. "Your support has been important. I would not have been as effective without it." Over the next few days, the colony began to operate more smoothly than ever. Settlers approached Myra confidently, asking questions about repairs and systems. She guided them patiently, offering explanations and demonstrations, always encouraging collaboration. Liam continued to assist, sometimes quietly observing, sometimes working alongside her. One afternoon, while they were inspecting a recently repaired water recycling system, Liam glanced at Myra and spoke softly. "You know, Myra, I've been meaning to say this: you inspire people. Not just me, but everyone around you. Your calmness, your intelligence, your patience, it makes people believe in themselves." Myra paused, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. "I appreciate your words, Liam. They are unusual, but they carry sincerity. I feel encouraged by them." Liam smiled, realizing how rare it was for Myra to show such emotion. "You deserve it. You've earned respect through everything you do, and you've changed the way this colony sees itself. You've made a difference." Myra's eyes met his, and for the first time, her expression carried something beyond calm composure: a quiet warmth and trust. "Your presence continues to help me adapt and succeed. I am grateful for it." As evening approached, the colony gathered for a routine assembly. Commander Harlan addressed the group, reviewing the progress made in repairs and improvements. Then he paused, glancing at Myra. "I want to acknowledge Myra," he said. "Her guidance and knowledge were critical during the storm and in the repairs afterward. She has proven herself to be an integral member of this colony. We owe her our respect and thanks." The colonists nodded, some clapping lightly. Myra's expression remained composed, but a small smile appeared. Liam stepped closer to her, giving her a quiet nod of encouragement. After the assembly, Liam and Myra walked together toward the observation deck. The sky above Oran 5 was filled with stars, each one reflecting softly on the rocky plains below. The air was cool and still, carrying the scent of the alien plants. "You have achieved something remarkable," Liam said quietly. "The colony now sees you as one of their own. Your presence has changed how they work together, how they trust, and how they view someone different from themselves." Myra looked at him, a subtle smile gracing her lips. "It is a positive change. I have not experienced acceptance like this before. Your support has helped me reach this point. I am grateful. Liam glanced at her, noticing the softness in her gaze, the gentle curve of her lips, and the slight warmth in her cheeks. Myra, I want you to know something. From the first day I met you, I have admired you. Your intelligence, your courage, and your kindness, you are extraordinary. And I am glad to have you here, beside me. Myra's eyes widened slightly, a faint pink coloring her cheeks. She had heard compliments before, but this one carried honesty, respect, and personal care. She found herself at a loss for words. After a moment, she said softly, Thank you, Liam. Your words are sincere. They are, meaningful. Liam smiled, feeling a quiet happiness. I mean every word. You've earned respect through your actions, and I've seen your strength and care. I wanted you to know that. The two stood in silence for a few moments, looking out at the alien plains, feeling the quiet bond that had grown between them over days and challenges. It was a bond built on trust, mutual respect, and understanding, something rare and valuable in a place that had once been filled with suspicion and doubt. As the night deepened, they returned to the colony, walking side by side. Settlers greeted Myra with friendly nods and smiles, a sign that the final barriers of prejudice were lifting. Liam noticed the small gestures of acceptance, the way people now asked for her advice without hesitation, the way they followed her guidance willingly. Myra's presence had transformed the colony, and Liam's support had strengthened their connection. Together, they had overcome fear, doubt, and the challenges of Oran 5, building not only a safe and functioning colony but also a foundation of friendship and understanding. Later, as they settled in for the night, Myra looked at Liam and spoke softly. I feel that I belong here now. The colony accepts me, and I have found someone I can trust. Your presence has made this possible. Liam reached out and gave a gentle smile. I'm glad, Myra. You belong here, and you always will. You've shown everyone your value, and you've shown me something even more: your strength, your care, and your heart. Myra's cheeks tinted softly, a faint warmth showing in her expression. I am grateful for your words and your friendship. I have not experienced such understanding before. The night on Oran 5 was calm, the stars reflecting in the distant plains. Liam and Myra knew that challenges would come again, but they also knew that together, they could face anything. The bond they had built through storms, work, quiet conversations, and shared trust was unshakable.